From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. The House Homeland Security Committee's chairman, Republican Representative Mark Green of Tennessee, announced Monday that he will retire from Congress once the House votes again on the sprawling tax and budget policy bill backed by President Donald Trump. In a statement, Green said he was offered a private sector opportunity that was too exciting to pass up, so he informed House Speaker Mike Johnson on Monday of his retirement plans. The move comes more than a year after Green announced he wouldn't run again in 2024, but changed his mind when fellow Republicans implored him to stick around. Green's next election would have been in 2026. Green voted for Trump's sweeping legislation when it passed the House last month. The bill is now in the Senate's hands and would need to return to the House for an agreement on any changes. Trump wants the bill on his desk for his signature by July 4th. Green's delayed departure could help with the GOP's narrow margins in the House. Republican leaders need every vote they can get on their tax bill, which they managed to pass last month by a single vote and will have to pass once again when changes are made and submitted from the Senate. They now have a 220 to 212 majority. In news from the escalating tension in Los Angeles, President Donald Trump is defending his decision to send another 2,000 National Guard troops along with 700 Marines to Los Angeles, escalating a military presence local officials and Governor Gavin Newsom do not want, and the police chief says creates logistical challenges for safely handling protests. Additional protests against immigration raids are expected to continue in other cities on Tuesday. California Attorney General Rob Bonta filed a lawsuit Monday over the use of National Guard troops following the first deployment, telling reporters that Trump had trampled the state's sovereignty. Meanwhile, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Eric Smith, said the battalion deployed to Los Angeles is already there and ready to follow the orders from the U.S. Northern Command, but clarified they have not yet been called to respond. Smith testified at a budget hearing before senators that those Marines are trained for crowd control and they would have shields and batons as their equipment. He said they have no arrest authority and are only there to protect federal property and federal personnel. When asked by U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal, a Connecticut Democrat, about the danger that Marines would use lethal force that could result in injuries and deaths, Smith said he had faith in them. I am not concerned. I have great faith in my Marines and their junior leaders and their more senior leaders to execute the lawful tasks that they are given. Meanwhile, some California Democrats are accusing Trump and his administration of causing the unrest. Democratic members of California's congressional delegation are accusing Trump of creating a manufactured crisis in Los Angeles with his orders to send in thousands of National Guard troops and hundreds of Marines. It's a deliberate attempt to incite unrest, test the limits of executive power, and distract from the lawlessness of his administration, said Representative Jimmy Gomez, who organized a press conference at the U.S. Capitol on Tuesday morning. Representative Jimmy Panetta said that Trump's decision to send the military was designed to give him the image and give him the fight and give him the pictures that he wants, Panetta said. The delegation would stand with peaceful protesters, but those who are not peaceful are going to pay the consequences. Representative Nancy Pelosi contrasted Trump's actions now with his handling of the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol when law enforcement officers were being beaten. We begged the President of the United States to send in the National Guard. He would not do it, Pelosi said. And finally, we have this news from Austria. A former student opened fire at a school in Austria's second biggest city on Tuesday, killing 9 people and wounding at least 12 others before taking his own life, authorities said. There was no immediate information on the motive of the 21-year-old who had no previous police record. He used 2 weapons, which he was believed to have owned legally, police said. Today is a dark day in the history of our country, Austrian Chancellor Christian Stocker told reporters in Graz, a city of about 300,000 people in southeastern Austria near the Swiss border. He called it a national tragedy that shocks us deeply and said there would be 3 days of national mourning with the Austrian flag lowered to half-staff at official buildings. A national minute of silence is to be held on Wednesday morning in the memory of the victims. That's the news at this hour. If you are watching our videos on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the PEP Radio channel. Download the Live 365 app to take PEP Radio with you wherever you go. Up next is the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.